Family, welcome back to the Sussex Squad Podcast, your number one home for truth, facts, and the unapologetic defence of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Today, we've got a bombshell story coming out of the High Court in London, where Prince Harry's legal battle against the toxic British tabloids continues to unfold. And let me tell you, folks, this case isn't just about Harry. It's about exposing decades of corruption, dirty tricks, and criminal activities carried out by Associated Newspapers Limited, the publisher behind the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday. The same papers that have made a business out of harassing, lying about, and endangering not just Harry and Meghan, but countless other public figures. This is day 2 of the hearing, and while Harry himself wasn't in London, his legal team came armed with evidence that should shake anyone with a conscience. Because what's being exposed here is shocking. Private investigators allegedly bugging cars, hacking phones, blagging private records, breaking into homes, even getting access to medical records, all in the name of journalism. This isn't journalism. This is organised crime dressed up as media. And here's where it gets even more serious. Harry's legal team revealed that it wasn't just him who was targeted. His brother, Prince William, and even Kate Middleton, before she became the Duchess of Cambridge, were spied on. Yes, you heard that right. Their phones, their private data, their home, their family, all targeted. An invoice from 2003 even shows surveillance connected to William's 21st birthday party. Another mentions Catherine Middleton's mobile phone data. So let's pause here for a moment. For years, these same tabloids have tried to pit Harry and Meghan against William and Kate. They painted Harry and Meghan as troublemakers while holding up the other side as perfect. But now the truth is coming out. These newspapers were violating both couples' privacy all along. It wasn't about protecting William and Kate. It wasn't about attacking just Harry and Meghan. It was about money, power, and control, using lies and manipulation to pit family against family while they lined their pockets. And yet, who has the courage to stand up and fight them in court? Who has the backbone to drag these powerful media corporations into the light? Not the so-called heirs to the throne, not the institution that pretends to protect its members. No, it's Prince Harry, the very one they tried to vilify, the one they said was weak, the one they said ran away. He's the one showing strength. He's the one forcing accountability. This is why we in the Sussex Squad ride for Harry and Meghan. Because while others sit back and allow themselves to be controlled by the tabloids, Harry is taking them head on. He's fighting not just for his family's right to privacy, but for everyone's. Because if these newspapers can bug royal palaces, imagine what they've done to everyday citizens who never had the resources to fight back. Let's be clear. Associated Newspapers isn't denying that private investigators worked for them. Instead, they're calling the allegations preposterous. That's their line. But what's really preposterous is the idea that we should believe the same company caught out in the Leveson inquiry, the same company with a long history of dirty tricks, the same company that literally thrives off lies, character assassination, and racism. And speaking of racism, let's not forget that this is the same publisher that led the campaign of hate against Meghan Markle from the moment her relationship with Harry went public. These are the same people who called her straight outta Compton, who reduced her to ugly stereotypes, who gleefully published lies about her family, who demonized her for the crime of being a biracial woman daring to marry into the monarchy. The hypocrisy is staggering. When William and Kate were targeted, it was business as usual. But when Harry and Meghan exposed the tabloids, suddenly they became enemies of the press, ungrateful royals, traitors. No, my friends, they are truth-tellers, they are survivors, and they are fighters. Now, this case isn't going to be wrapped up today. What's happening right now is just a preliminary hearing to decide how much material needs to be disclosed before the full trial next year. Harry's lawyer, David Sherborne, and if that name sounds familiar, yes, it's the same man who has represented Princess Diana's legacy and Elton John, has made it clear. What we've seen so far is only the tip of the iceberg. The wrongdoing is widespread, and the cover-up runs deep. Of course, A&L's lawyers are crying foul, saying the claimants haven't provided enough evidence. Classic tactic, gaslighting, denying, trying to delay justice. But every single time Harry and his team walk into court, the truth gets harder and harder for these papers to hide. And this is where we need to talk about courage again. Harry is standing not just with Meghan, but alongside heavyweights like Elton John, David Furnish, Liz Hurley, and others who have also been spied on. Together, they are building a case that could finally force accountability on a corrupt press industry that has operated unchecked for far too long. Family, I want us to reflect for a moment. Prince Harry could have walked away from all of this. He could have said, "Not my problem anymore." He could have stayed in Montecito, raised his children in peace, and ignored the mess in the UK. But instead, he chose to fight. Because this isn't just about him. It's about setting a precedent. It's about making sure Archie and Lilibet grow up in a world where powerful institutions don't get to trample on people's rights with impunity. Prince Harry's lawyers set for second day in court after naming Prince William and Kate in legal documents. The hearing is expected to conclude today. Prince Harry's lawyers will continue their legal battle against Associated Newspapers Limited during the second day of a hearing at the High Court on Thursday. The Duke of Sussex did not attend the first day of the hearing on Wednesday and will not be in London today. The royal and 6 other high-profile individuals, including Sir Elton John, his husband David Furnish, and actress Liz Hurley, are bringing legal action against Associated Newspapers Limited, A&L. They have accused the publisher of allegedly carrying out or commissioning unlawful activities, such as hiring private investigators to place listening devices inside cars, blagging private records, burglaries to order, and accessing and recording private phone conversations. The newspaper group is accused of serious privacy breaches dating back 30 years. These also include allegations of phone tapping, home bugging, and obtaining medical records by deception. Associated Newspapers has firmly denied involvement in any unlawful practices, describing the claims as simply preposterous. The case is expected to proceed to a full trial next year. On Wednesday, the Duke of Sussex's lawyers claimed private investigators spied on the Prince of Wales, in new details submitted to the High Court. Lawyers for the Duke produced invoices allegedly showing surveillance around William's 21st birthday party and phone data linked to Catherine Middleton, the Princess of Wales's maiden name. One invoice from 2003 refers to a payment for information about Prince William's out-of-Africa-themed 21st birthday party. Another mentions mobile phone data belonging to Catherine Middleton, now the Princess of Wales, while separate searches were carried out on the Middleton family home. A further record listed 10 numbers from a family and friends list, in which Kate's was highlighted. On Wednesday, the Duke of Sussex's lawyers claimed private investigators spied on the Prince of Wales in new details submitted to the High Court. Reuter's two-day hearing in May focused on issues relating to the disclosure of further material ahead of the full trial. David Sherborne, the lawyer representing the 7 claimants, said disclosure so far had revealed widespread use of unlawful information gathering across the titles by journalists and various desks. However, he argued that the approach to disclosure has allowed only a partial picture of the wrongdoing. Associated Newspaper's legal team countered that the claimants had not provided any disclosure to substantiate their allegations. In court filings, A&L's lawyers argued that the claimants had given no further particulars of the allegations of hacking, tapping, blagging or perjury. And while Harry is doing all this, what is the royal family doing? Silence, not a word, not a single statement of solidarity. The same family that loves to talk about, never complain, never explain, has no problem leaking to the press. But when it comes to actually challenging corruption, they're missing in action. Why? Because they need the tabloids to maintain their image. They need that toxic symbiosis where the press paints them as heroes while demonizing Harry and Meghan. But history will remember this moment. History will remember who fought for justice and who looked the other way. And it won't be kind to those who chose silence. So, as this court case moves forward, we in the Sussex Squad will continue to stand firmly behind Harry and Meghan. We will continue to call out the lies, the hypocrisy and the corruption. Because at the end of the day, this fight is bigger than just one prince and one duchess. It's about truth, it's about accountability, and it's about justice. All right, family, that's it for today's deep dive on the Sussex Squad podcast. Prince Harry is out here leading the charge, proving once again why he and Meghan are forces of change in a world that desperately needs it. Let's keep supporting them, keep amplifying the truth, and keep standing against the smear campaigns. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, join the conversation in the comments, and show your love by dropping a super thanks. Every bit of support helps us keep the lights on and keep fighting the good fight. This is the Sussex Squad podcast, where we ride for Harry and Meghan 100%. Until next time, stay strong, stay loud, and stay unapologetically pro-Sussex.